user experience signals. As I discussed earlier, dwell time. So there are two types of dwell time. There is dwell time on the search engine results page, which isn't really discussed. But the dwell time that that is important for you is how long someone spends on your website after clicking a link from Google. The longer, the better. If you visit a website and then immediately leave, Google's going to know that that link wasn't relevant for you. And if 1,000 other people then do that after clicking on it, Google are going to de-rank you or at least drop you to the second page or wherever, because they can see that people are bouncing back. So obviously this isn't answering the question that they were looking for, or isn't relevant to what they were searching for. Ways we can increase dwell time is by adding like video content. Embedding YouTube videos is a great little hack to do that, because if someone's watching a YouTube video, they're going to spend a lot of time. Making sure that your page is actually relevant for the search term, making sure that you do add value, making sure that it's easily understandable and there is content to read. Because if you don't have these, then people aren't going to spend time reviewing. Bounce rate is, simply a case of someone visiting your website, immediately leaving without taking any action or scrolling. You want the higher the bounce rate, the worse. So you want to try and minimize that where possible. So poker staking is essentially when someone bounces around from Google search result to Google search result. What you want to try and do there, and this is a bit difficult, is actually dominate multiple listings. So you can understand if someone's searching for multiple, like one search term, but on multiple. Let me rephrase that. You can rank yourself for multiple pages for the same search term. That way, if someone bounces from your website, hopefully you'll have other pages to land on. But be aware that this is actually a really difficult process. Bounce rate means people easily found what they need. Is it always a bad thing? So good question. High bounce rate is usually a bad thing, because if someone found what they need, they wouldn't immediately bounce. Bounce is like immediate, within seconds. Sometimes if someone is able to load the page, find the information they need, and then leave immediately, that might count as a bounce. So that might be a bad thing. But generally bounces are just very, very rapid. It's usually like when you click on a link and it's completely irrelevant. And then you're like, oh, this is just not for me. I'm not going to spend time reviewing it. Is there any website builder service platform you'd recommend using over the others that is optimized for SEO? I'm setting up a new business and wondering, for example. Okay, so WordPress is my personal favorite. Google loves WordPress. There's tons of functionality, and it's very built-in SEO friendly. I don't like Squarespace, Wix, etc., because I don't think they're SEO friendly. However, I have had people rank them. I think if you're trying to rank, if SEO is your primary channel, think very carefully about using Squarespace or Wix. But if it's just one of your multiple channels, then I would say that's fine. You can still optimize it where needs be. And like, increasingly, I think they're getting better. I think that it used to be a lot worse than it is now. So ranking websites for apps is a really difficult thing. Actually, I'm going to, oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'm going to answer all these questions at the end because I want to get through this content first. But yeah, they're really good questions. Just really quickly, organic CTR, that is, that's simply a case of what is the conversion or click-through rate of your impression on Google, as we discussed earlier. Search intent, as I discussed, is how important something is, or user intent, how much intent there is loaded into the search term itself. So I'm going to go quickly on this one because we've already discussed it and we're running out of time. We can talk about it at the end if you have more questions. Core Web Vitals. So yeah, these are what Google thinks are really, really important. Specific set of metrics that are really important. A lot of them don't necessarily make sense. They're more technical. So largest, it's basically like what is the biggest file on your page, how quickly does your web page load, and once it's loaded, is it stable? And then you've also got like mobile friendly, is it safe, is it secure, are there any big pop-ups? So this is all in your Google Search Console. They came out with it recently, but I would research that a bit more. Oh, that's cool. Oh. SEO tools and software. So SEMrush is a popular tool. I've used it a lot. There is a lot of functionality with it, but what you'll find is that you'll click on something and then you'll pay for a feature, and then you'll realize that a lot of the additional features are upgrades and quite expensive. It is hugely used. Millions of people use it. Millions of people use it a lot. So, you know, it might be relevant to you. Yoast SEO plugin is what I'm currently using for WordPress. Moz, I don't really use it much. I don't really like the data or the functionalities that they offer, but I think it is a valuable tool. Raven Tools is one that is used, but not hugely relevant. Uber Suggest helps you come up with keyword ideas. And for some reason, I don't have my favorite, which is hrefs, which is, I don't want to log in because I've got client data that I can't show, unfortunately. But it's pretty cool. They do a 7-day free trial for $7. The data is really good. It's really accessible. And what I like about it is that it's very actionable. You can log in, you can add your website, and then you can use that information to then actually rank your website. So I'm going to teach you